This is the Torque Work Centre. Now, on its own, it is a large platform. It's obviously got the ability to take a piece of work and actually fix it down to its surface. And it's got this large carriage that, if I just unlock the brake, it can transverse along the x-axis there, and the carriage itself can run on the y-axis beam here. As I've described in another video, it's got 6 degrees of freedom, it's got 3 axial and 3 rotational movements that it's capable of. But all that's not very useful unless you can actually put a machine onto the, or a tool onto the machine and make use of it. Now, they've used they've come up with a standard way of fitting all the tools, and it's down at the bottom of this plate here. There are 3 holes. The centre one takes a bolt, and the other 2 take these little pins, if you like, to stop the tool rotating. Now this here is one type of router mount, and you literally put it on there, put the bolt through from the other side, do it up, and you can mount your router to the Torque Work Centre. But in this video I just wanted to show you the range that is currently available to fit to the machine. Now the router and the mount that I just showed you can take either the Makita or the Hitachi. And it's just a matter of taking off the original plunge base, which is a very, very simple operation, and it just drops straight onto this, and it uses the plunge lock of the router itself to secure the router to the mount. And using that standard fitting, that will connect straight on and turn this into an overhead routing platform. Now, if either the Hitachi or Makita is not your poison, you've got another brand of router, or plunge router specifically. There are other mounts available, and for example I've got here, this is the mount for the Triton. And again, it's very, very simple to take the plunge base off the Triton and have it so it fits onto the Torque Work Centre. And because it's so easy to take off, it's also very easy to reverse that. So at any stage, if you want to use the router handheld, it can be easily converted back in under 60 seconds. Would be a pretty fair estimate of how long it takes. Now, having such a secure platform to mount a tool to, it's also very useful to take a very basic circular saw, and that can be mounted in 2 positions, either on this mount here, which is for cross-cutting. So again, that mounts on there and then produces a cross-cut saw with, in this case, up to 900mm. With the longer arm, it will fit up to a 1300mm and give you a massive range of cross-cut. Or you can mount the tool end on, and then you can rip for the entire length of the Torque Work Centre. There is another trick that I haven't actually tried yet, but I'm interested in doing so at some stage, which is actually offsetting the circular saw at an angle, and then still having it transverse along the length of the table, and that should give you quite an interesting cove cut. And if you do it the same way as you do it on a table saw, I think it would actually be a very, very simple operation to cove cut with this setup. As we've seen in the past, you can mount your drill with this, and again this produces a drill, well, it turns your drill into a large drill press. And this is a drill press with 900 or even 1300mm of range from the pillar. And most drill presses just do not have that sort of distance from the upright. So you're quite limited in how deep you can, or how large a piece you can work and still use your drill press, as they're having to revert to a handheld drill. So this will give us a drill right out here if I want it. I can swing this right round to the other side and actually drill into pieces that are actually on the ground. And of course, with all those degrees of freedom, I can set the drill at any angle and be plunging. Now, the latest development is this. It's a mount to take a random orbital sander, and again it uses a very similar concept to the drill mount, and it uses exactly the same connection, and we can now mount your random orbital sander onto this platform. It might seem a little bit unusual to do so, but remember, a random orbital sander has only got, in this case, about 100mm across, and so if you've got an undulating surface, this will quite happily sand up and down that undulation, producing a very smooth surface, but one that's not necessarily flat. When mounted on the torque work centre, it's going to keep the height consistent over the entire length and width of the work centre's operational range. And so not only are you then using your random orbital sander to produce a finish, but it also becomes a flattening tool as well. And in this case, with a 40 grit, very aggressive cutting sandpaper mounted in it, it then becomes a surfacing tool, as well as then being able to go up to higher grades and use it as a finishing tool.